President Cyril Ramaphosa is in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, to attend the African Union Leaders Summit, which will be taking place this weekend. So for more on the story now, we are going to be chatting to SABC News specialist correspondent Sophie Mokoena. Sophie, good morning. There's lots happening, and perhaps where you are, talk to us about, the mood of the summit whilst you are at the headquarters. And if we're looking at what's set to top the agenda, what is emerging for this edition? Also ahead of our president, of course, addressing as South Africa has, is going to be, has been elected to the AU Peace and Security Council.
Well, I think you are correct. President Ramaphosa is going to participate at this summit. As you can see behind me, many people have arrived already. We expect the leaders to arrive in an hour's time, where the opening session will start. We will hear a report by the AU Commission Chair, who will give an update in terms of what has happened since last year after he was elected, and the programs that were done by the African Union, and also other important issues, including the fact that you would recall that he was in South Africa last year during the G20 meeting, where African Union was participating as a member on behalf of the continent in general. We expect the president to present a report in terms of what transpired at the G20 in South Africa, and also to highlight the importance of one report that was presented by a panel of experts, where they were talking about inequality, and also lobbying the member states to adopt that report so that there can be a task team that can look at ensuring that around the world the issue of inequality is at the center of all the projects that will be adopted by the United Nations. When I spoke to the UN chief yesterday, he indicated that that report is quite important because it will level the playing field in terms of addressing the challenges of the developed North and the developing South, including regions such as Sub-Saharan region, where you have many poor countries. We also expect the UN chief, he will be delivering his statement this morning. This will be his last address as the Secretary General of the United Nations to the AU. As you know, that the next AU meeting will only happen next year, and he will be leaving office in December. And therefore, he is expected to lobby and push for the transformation of financial architects, and also the transformation of multilateral institutions such as the IMF, the World Bank, including the Security Council. Yesterday, he pointed out that it is said that since 1946, it is now 2026, the African continent doesn't have seats at the Security Council as a permanent members of the Security Council, and therefore these are some of the issues that the world must pay attention to. But also, he's going to talk about the conflict in Sudan, in the DRC, challenges in areas such as Cabo Delgado, pushing the leaders to ensure that where there are these conflicts, there's way to ensure that the killings do get attended to, and there's peace in those regions. We also expect him to talk about climate change, and this is quite important, particularly for a country like South Africa, where recently we saw the impact of the floods, and also Mozambique. When I spoke to the president of Mozambique yesterday, Daniel Chapo, indicating that there was a huge damage during those floods, and the fear that now the cyclone is moving from Madagascar to Mozambique, and they are going to experience challenges. And these are the impacts that we see as it relates to climate change. And he said even if he was to leave office, he will continue to ensure that the world does pay attention to climate change. And therefore, the deliberations are going to start in 2 hours from now. And I think it will be also important to hear what will the African continent say about the issue of water and sanitation, because they are the theme of this summit in terms of what needs to be addressed. And we know that a country like South Africa has been experiencing challenges of water. We saw
Yes.
people in Gauteng talking about the challenges of access to water. And I think the theme of the summit, looking at water and sanitation, has come at the right time for countries such as South Africa, which can be a case study.
Well, Sophie, we're monitoring all the developments alongside you. We can see the hive of activity happening behind you. Let's leave our conversation there as that all-important work gets done in Addis Ababa there for the AU summit that's taking place this weekend.